Hey everybody, and welcome to Mike Nierychlo, that's me, online, sharing my love for people, wine, food, and all things made with those hints of passion. You know the ones I'm talking about. Alright, today's show, I've got a couple of wines, a red and a white, from Vieux Pin Winery. Now, Vieux Pin Winery, another winery located here in British Columbia in the South Okanagan, near the city of Oliver. Vieux Pin Winery. If you missed it, make sure you check out somewhere in the last of my 20 episodes. I'll make life a little bit easier for you, and I'll stick a link right below this video so you can find it. There was an episode in there I did a great interview with Rasul Salihi. Now, Rasul Salihi, general manager of Vieux Pin Winery, as well general manager of La Stella Winery, two kind of brother-sister wineries under the same hub. Now, La Stella Winery is a little bit more of their Italian-inspired winery. If you check out the episode below this one, actually I just did a sweet wine from them. Super yummy little sweet wine. Make sure you can get your hands on that one if you can find it. So today's show, I'm doing the Vieux Pin, the French-inspired winery. A couple wines from them. Super excited to try these ones out, see what they have to offer. So let's get right into them. The first one, this is the 2010 Sauvignon Blanc from Vieux Pin. Vieux Pin means the old pine. Great packaging here. One thing I really like about their packaging, I really appreciate, every bottle of wine, or every vintage of wine, the label tells us about the vintage. It's got all kinds of neat little tidbits about the vintage. So see if there's anything interesting that comes up while we're tasting it. I think it's about $40 to $45 for this Sauvignon Blanc. Super curious how it plays out. All right, here we go. Wow, I'm gonna need to take a little bit of time with this wine. This has got a, wow, the nose has got so much going on. Okay, hints of something I gotta explain on the nose of this one right away. Sauvignon Blanc in general, whether it's New Zealand, whether it's the Loire Valley in France, wherever you find it, Sauvignon Blanc in general, as a white wine, always has these green notes, almost green kind of herbal notes. I mean, if it's Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, you often get green bell pepper notes or kind of grassy notes, things like that. Ontario, you get similar things, almost slightly sweeter. Loire Valley, you get minerality meets something green. This one says South Okanagan, which is super cool, which is where the grapes are from. In the South Okanagan, there is sage. Sage, the plant sage. Sage growing everywhere. Seriously, everywhere. You drive down the streets, you see sage. What's super cool is I smell sage in this wine. So you're smelling the terroir, sense of place. It makes sense that this is from the South Okanagan. When you're driving around the South Okanagan, you're smelling what I'm smelling in here. Now that I've pushed that point through to you, you get the greenness of the sage in this wine. A lot of really interesting minerality on the nose, just kind of those wet stones and rocks and gravel. And on top of that, the fruit on this wine comes through really interesting. The fruit's it's kind of a bridging two gaps. So you get a tropical, or bridging a gap between tropical aromas. I get that kind of pineapple meets a little bit of guava or something like that, over to the side of more ripe green fruits like apple, kiwi, lime. There's a lot of that in here with a touch of something savory. Man, I really like the nose of this wine. The nose comes across, I get a little bit of almost like hints of honeyed beeswax, that kind of thing as well. Honeycomb, put it that way. Nice wine. Now, the honeycomb and things like that I'm getting on here is probably coming a little bit, like the beeswax sort of thing. Spice is coming a little bit. They have a bit of oak program on here. They use about 17% French oak on this wine. That's what the label tells us here. Yeah, 17% French oak. So they're giving a few different flavor characteristics. All right, looking forward to trying it. Wow. That's some really good Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah, really good Sauvignon Blanc. The palate really reflects the nose, but it's like it's telling me a story in my mouth. Wow, that sounded kind of pretentious. That's all right. Whatever. It's telling me a story. Up front, I get this little bit of spice, almost kind of lime citrus meets those tropical flavors, that pineapple, a little bit of guava. Through the mid palate, it's really like apple and kiwi. Then you get the finish, it's got that kind of honey, but the honey meets a lot of spice and minerality and that sage flavor. I get that like ginger, almost gingery sage sort of spice on the finish. It's a complete wine and the finish is still going. Yeah, I'm tasting actually a lot of that sage on the finish. I like that. I like this wine. $45. You know what? There's a point with wine. When price, yes, $45 is a lot of money for 750 milliliters of liquid. When you get quality like this, I don't mind paying $45 for a bottle of wine. I believe this wine, it's somewhere between 40 and 45, somewhere around there. But yeah, this is a good wine. I haven't put it on my wine rating system. And I think this one deserves awesome. This is good wine. This deserves awesome. So it's awesome wine. Put it that way. On Mike's wine rating scale, the 2010 Sauvignon Blanc from Vieux Pin just got awesome. All right, next wine from them. This is their 2008 Syrah. Now, I believe this Syrah is kind of their inaugural vintage of Syrah. Again, great packaging. Same price point for this wine. I believe it's between $40 and $45. Let's go for a little bit of a rinse here. Now, Syrah is another variety. Classically, you find it in the Rhone Valley in France. See it all over the place. Syrah, same grape as Shiraz you find in Australia. Tends to be done stylistically different when you call it Syrah or Shiraz. But Syrah in the South Okanagan is one of those varieties that does extremely well and has built a reputation for the South Okanagan as far as Syrah goes. It does great there. It's so hot there, makes this wine work. All right, so let's see how Vieux Pin's example is of this wine. Syrah. Whoa. Okay, that's a neat Syrah nose. One thing when I interviewed Rasul, he makes a very bold statement in his interview. Something about just making really good wine, wanting to compete on a very international scale. You'll have to check out that interview. It's really good. Okay, this Syrah. Plums and red currants until next week somewhere. It's loaded with plums and red currants. But now to complement those plums and red currants, it's floral. There's violets. There's fresh cut violets. And on the other side of that, there's meat. It's got like a breakfast sausage sort of thing. Actually, you know what? It's almost more like a... You ever had like a turkey jerky or turkey sausage, something like that? Totally, yeah. Turkey meets a little bit of ash, a little bit of smoke. Very classic Syrah aromas, but very nice. Looking forward to trying this one as well. I'm impressed, guys. Well done, Vieux Pin. You're going to compete on an international scale, I think. Ooh. Very good Syrah. Definitely going to put it that way. Nice on my palate. Tons of flavor. Those currants, meat plums, definitely come through. That ash comes through. Here's my criticism for this wine right now. And the reason I'm going to say this is because I'm criticizing this wine right now. This wine is built for time. It's drinking nice right now. I'll put it that way. It's drinking nice, but it comes across tight. It's tight. The layers haven't released yet. It really needs to open up. It's got those floral characteristics. It's got that violet. It's got everything I said on the nose. But it comes through tight. It's extremely acidic. Like, it's got bright, very tart, just ripping acidity. Mixed with some really neat tannins. Tannins remind me of like a really dark, earthy chocolate, kind of a tea bag tannin, something like that. What I'm getting at with this wine, it's 08, we're in 2011 right now. This is a wine for time. This is a wine that is built for time. That acidity and those tannins are going to carry it. It's pretty sharp right now. I really like it. I think right now this is a really good wine, but I want to taste this wine in 5 to 10 years when it softens, smooths out, and all the components come together and meld and make a really nice, silky, smooth, creamy wine, which Syrah can do a great job of. So what's really cool is this wine has all the components, but you know what? For $45, this wine is a great investment for a tasty wine. Lay this down in your cellar, open it up in about 5 years from now, and I think you're going to be thoroughly impressed. So, the Sauvignon Blanc under screw cap as well, ready to be opened, ready to be drinking fresh, is awesome. That's what I have to say. This Syrah, I think is going to be awesome. One day. So on my rating scale right now, let's put this Syrah in great. I'm calling it great right now. But drink it in 5 to 10 years. Something like that. Maybe you don't need to wait that long. But give it some time to open up and give us some of its potential. Anyway, that's it for today's episode. Thank you everybody out there so much for watching. Please remember, wine, depretentiosized. And we'll see you in the next episode.